China has increased its influence by increasing its footprint in the Indian Ocean region by making commercial investment in Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Djibouti, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Maldives, Mauritius, Seychelles, Sudan, and many other countries in the Indian Ocean region. And this is threatening New Delhi. The Indian Ocean has become a new global center for trade and energy, accounting for 50% container traffic and 70% petroleum shipment. This has made the Indian Ocean a potential arena for strategic competition to both regional power-making moves to exert influence through developing ports and navy patrol.
Monday, Indian and Chinese soldiers fought on disputed land.
That China will soon invade Taiwan.
Mainland China is
side of China. He talks about
fear of China.
China.
Crackdown in China.
India has a number of reservations regarding China's behavior in the Indian Ocean. One such is Chinese operations in India's exclusive economic zone. Last year, Indian Navy Chief Admiral Karamveer Singh stated that Chinese research vessels and fishing boats have been spotted in the Indian Ocean, even within India's exclusive economic zone. For example, the Chinese research vessel Xian-1 was seen near the Andaman and Nicobar Islands in September 2019. Such occurrences are no longer isolated incidents. In August 2020, even in the middle of the ongoing conflict in the eastern Ladakh on the Sino-Indian border, China sent its Yuan Wang class research vessel into the Indian Ocean. They had a well-known oceanographic vessel in 2013. It was hovering and doing a probe which was underwater and measuring the India's ocean's hydrological state. Hydrological conditions are critical in determining what type of anti-submarine weapon to use, as well as the sonar system, which can track the enemy's progress. The Chinese approach in the Indian Ocean is not a full-spectrum policy. Rather, it is an incremental control strategy. Their full-fledged approach is focused on the South China Sea, which is a sensitive territory for the Chinese. They are beginning as a shareholder in the Indian Ocean with the goal of gradually increasing their presence. The Chinese conduct submarine exercises in order to maintain a presence in Indian waters by making them more relevant to India in terms of providing net security. They are attempting to combine a number of steps on the industrial structure development front with diplomatic and naval development to become a regional dominant force rather than simply controlling the space physically. Despite India's lack of attention to the marine front from a security standpoint, India's stakes in the Indian Ocean area are apparent. Since India's independence, the country has not faced any serious maritime threats. Instead, security has been concentrated on the relatively low-level threat from Pakistan, as well as non-traditional concerns like as piracy and terrorism. While this is still a concern, it has been surpassed by concerns over China's expanding influence in the Indian Ocean region. China has frequently articulated its concern about the interdiction of its energy supplies, principally from the Gulf through the Malacca Straits. It has undertaken numerous initiatives to overcome its Malacca dilemma through extensive port and pipeline building, and these have been incorporated into the BRI. In all 64 countries partners in the BRI, 57 of which participated in the Belt and Road Forum. Of the 36 countries located in the IOR, 15 are among the designated partners and were represented at a high level. Of the remaining IOR countries, all except India and Oman participated. China has constructed pipelines, road, and rail links in Russia and the Central Asian energy-rich countries to facilitate trade in energy and goods. To India's west, China plans to invest upwards of $60 billion in the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is the heart of the BRI, providing access to the Indian Ocean at Gwadar Port. The corridor passing through Indian territory in the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir is envisaged to dot Pakistan with power plants along with upgraded rail and road connections from Gwadar to Xinjiang. To India's east, China has built a port in Kyaukphyu to transport gas from the Gulf and developed oil and gas pipelines to move Myanmar's own gas and imported oil and gas through Myanmar to its Yunnan province, circumventing the Malacca Straits. Also to east, China, which is already building roads, rail lines and power projects in Bangladesh, is seeing association with port building and upgradation. South in Sri Lanka, China has built the Hambantota port and is constructing a new city near Colombo port, which handles approximately 75% of the transshipment of India's trade. Currently, which is in debt crisis and gave port on 99 years of lease. China's largest investments, excluding the CPEC in Pakistan, are in 3 IOR countries: Australia $10 billion, Malaysia $3.1 billion, and Singapore $1.1 billion. In contrast, India's investments in these countries are a fraction of these amounts. China now has a naval base in Djibouti and some facilities in Seychelles and Mauritius. It is deeply involved in infrastructure building in Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, and South Africa.